What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Exploring Investments with Justin. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering what my thoughts are on the stock market and whether or not I think we could be seeing another stock market crash. And in this video, I'm going to be covering what I think the biggest risk to the stock market is right now, because there has been some recent news come out that I do think will affect the stock market. And then we'll also be looking at what the valuation of the stock market looks like from a broader market standpoint, looking at the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P. And be sure to hit that subscribe button because I will be putting out a bunch of content as we move into Q2 earnings season. So with that being said, let's jump right into today's video. Now, the important thing is to remember that when the stock market does crash, this creates amazing buying opportunities. And one of the reasons I started this channel was to try and help as many new investors as possible, because I did learn a lot of lessons in my first year investing. And that was one of the biggest things, is that when the stock market is going down, especially when there's a big crash or major pullback, this creates chances for you to 2x or 3x your money and get great returns in the long term. Now, one of the biggest factors I see when it comes to the possibility of another stock market crash comes from the rising number of new cases that we're seeing across the country right now. From this chart, we can see that there are now 23 states that have more new daily cases than they did just 2 weeks ago. And the scary part is that of the 23 states, more than half have shown more than a 50% increase in daily cases. And with this increase of new cases, the World Health Organization is now warning of a new and dangerous phase of the Rona as we start to see more new cases across the world. And I will be using that word Rona because Jeremy from Financial Education probably has the best nickname for it. So if you hear me say it, that's where I got it from. Now, on Thursday, the World Health Organization reported that there were 150,000 new cases, making it the most in a single day since the outbreak started late last year. So across the entire world, we are now seeing a resurgence in the number of positive cases, which means we are nowhere near done with this global issue. And this has led Apple to close stores in 4 states, including Florida and Arizona, where they're seeing a record number of new cases each day. And from a global standpoint, Beijing, which just recently had a new outbreak, is shutting down its schools and businesses while also locking down the surrounding residential areas in an effort to slow down the spread of this outbreak. Now, the reason this is so important is because if, worst case scenario, we continue to see an increase in cases, we may have to shut down the economy to curb the spread again. And the chair of Arizona's Honor Care Health System recently stated that we're facing a significant chance that we're going to have to shut down the state again. Now, ultimately, this will be up to the governors of each state, but if we see a scenario where hospitals are now being pushed past their max capacity again, then we may be seeing another shutdown like we just did. Now, I'm not saying this is likely to happen because, one, the Fed will do everything they can to keep the economy moving, like pumping more than $2 trillion into the economy and buying corporate bonds. And 2, the ripple effects of shutting down the economy again will destroy small businesses across the country. And economists are already projecting that more than 100,000 small businesses have shut down permanently since the global issue escalated back in March. And between 1996 and 2016, small businesses accounted for 62% of net new jobs. So if we see another shutdown that forces businesses to close down their stores, you can almost guarantee that the record number of unemployment claims we have right now will not be coming down anytime soon. So like I said, I do think the biggest risk to the market right now is the rising cases, because this will have a ripple effect where if we have too many cases again, like we did just a few months ago, I do see a scenario where we do have some kind of shutdown. Now, it may not be as big as the one we did have, but I do see the possibility of another shutdown in some sort of scale. So with that being said, let's look at the valuation of the market as a whole. And I think it's important to first look at how the major stock indexes are performing year to date given the recent data that's been coming out. So we can see here that the Dow Jones is down about 9% year to date, which isn't bad considering it's up 35% in the last 3 months. And the S&P is only down 4%, but somehow the NASDAQ is actually up almost 11% year to date, considering the record unemployment and massive hit to corporate profits that we're seeing. Now, if we look at a graph showing the price of the S&P and compare it to the EPS for companies, we'll see that the forward earnings estimates are declining, yet the price of stocks continue to rise. And right now, the Dow Jones has a PE ratio of almost 22, and a forward PE of 24. Now to put that in perspective, the forward PE of 24 is 33% higher than a year ago. So already you're paying a pretty big premium if you were buying stocks today based off the broader market. And I think the only thing that could soothe the fears of investors is by having a V-shot. Because if we have a way to combat this global issue and ensure that no more lives will be lost, then I do think investor confidence will rise and the economy will recover quickly. The only issue is that we could still be 6 to 12 months away from having a safe and effective vaccine. And of course, the market will continue to be volatile and move big on any good or bad news related to a V-shot. So like I said throughout this video, I do see the biggest risk being the new cases that we're seeing, and the stock market as a whole is pretty overvalued right now, so you already are paying a premium for these companies. So make sure to let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on the stock market and where we're currently at. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button because it does help out the new YouTube channel, and make sure to let me know in the comment section what you guys want me to cover in my next video. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.